we have got Anton from West Virginia. And Anton has a question about Christianity.
Hi.
Was it copied from Mithraism? Oh, good one. Anton, go ahead. What's your question?
I'm an atheist because I figured out by a study that Christianity was borrowed heavily from older religions, starting with Mithraism and a lot of other ones. But a believer told me that there was new evidence that it was the reverse way, that Mithraism actually copied from Christianity. Which one is the truth? Which one copied from the other one?
So I know, hold on, John, I know that you can speak to this. So before you do, I would like to give my understanding and then have John tear it down for me. So this is the way I understand it, okay? That Mithraism was one of those religions that did, in fact, and I say fact because that's the way I understand it. I'm going to have John come up and give his expertise. But the way I understand it is Mithraism was born out of an older religion called Zoroastrianism. And around this time, while many religions did have an afterlife, all of these afterlives, let's say in the Greek religion or some of the Mesopotamian religions, these afterlives were rather uneventful, okay? Sometimes it was just where everybody went and it was like a dark place where nothing really happened. Other times it was a mirror of society. So if you were of high status and high influence, then you maintain that in the afterlife. And the same thing if you were poor and unimportant. But Mithraism, the way I understand it, was something that offered a salvation, but only to a certain select group of people: soldiers, gladiators. Those were the kind of people who were slaves, people that were going to die early or die, a short life and not have a very good life, found salvation through Mithraism. And so that's what I understand. And then Christianity, in its nascency, borrowed some concepts, but was able to spread those concepts not just to soldiers and gladiators and slaves, but to everyone. And that is where I leave you. John, please tell me how I did.
Not too bad, I guess. But
okay.
So the key thing to understand here is that it's not copying. Right. They're not copying things. What it's called is syncretism. There's a syncretism between Hellenistic ideas and mystery cults. And this occurs in various different forms. Mithraism is just one form of syncretism between Hellenistic ideas and Persian ideas. And then you've got like the mysteries of Attis and Cybele. That was a syncretism between Hellenistic and Anatolian ideas. The mysteries of Isis and Osiris was a syncretization between Egyptian and Hellenistic ideas. Then Christianity comes along, and it's a syncretism between Hellenistic ideas and Jewish ideas. And so the reason why you might be seeing connections between like Mithraism and all these other mystery cults that were going around at the time is because they were based on the same kind of skeletal structure that mystery cults are based on. And they're also using Hellenistic ideas from the Mediterranean around that time in order to build out their own custom versions of these mystery cults. And so while they're not strictly copied, they're syncretized, and with syncretism comes differences. There are going to be differences between Mithraism and the mysteries of Attis and Cybele. There's going to be differences between both of them and Isis and Osiris, and of course with Christianity. And so if you think about it in a straight plagiarism or in a straight copying sort of way, you're probably going to get a lot of pushback. But if you say that it was syncretized, in that a new religion, Christianity, was created by merging the beliefs of Hellenistic ideas and these mystery cults that were out there, the basic skeletal structure of these mystery cults, you merge them together and you end up getting, Christianity. Because there's a lot of elements of Christianity that come from Zoroastrianism, the burning hell, the adversary, or the cosmic, villain of God that we know now as Satan. All of that was sort of developed from syncretizing these mystery cults, multiple different mystery cult ideas with Hellenistic ideas in order to produce these things. So I wouldn't I would caution against saying, oh, Christianity is a copy of Mithraism. It's more like Christianity is its own unique thing that was cobbled together from multiple different sources in the Mediterranean area that were influencing religious beliefs at that time.
Fantastic. Anton, what do you say?
Which one? Okay, that kind of explained it, but I just wanted to know which one came first.
Well, Mithraism.
Mithraism.
Right. Mithraism was definitely first before Christianity. Christianity didn't develop until like the 1st century CE, at least in the form that we know it in. So Mithraism would have definitely been syncretized first, and then Philo of Alexandria and Paul the Apostle were busy syncretizing Judaism with Hellenistic ideas.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it?
That answered my question. Yeah, that's it. Sir.
Okay, great. Well, on that, I mean, there are a lot of similarities. So, that was fantastic. I love talking about this stuff, and it's well, you make a good point. Like, it's not just a matter of somebody found this religion and they took it and added to their own religion. It's a matter of what were the common cultural norms of the time, and then what kind of ideas were being exchanged. People weren't just isolated and fixated in one location. There was a massive, extensive trade network covering the Mediterranean, Africa, the Near East, all the way into Asia, right? And so it's not a surprise that a lot of these ideas not only passed through those channels, but also kind of supplanted themselves across different cultures and developed a little bit differently, but still borrowed things. It's no surprise to me that Zeus and Yahweh, very similar, right? Storm gods had a son that was half god, half human. Both of them traveled to the underworld, and as luck would have it, they just were able to kind of keep living, right, even after traveling to the underworld. And so, make no mistake that across the region, these things were developing and coexisting and borrowing from each other, and some could make the argument getting better, which is why they became more popular. I don't know, but it wasn't just due to trade. Of course, this stuff was burned and enslaved and murdered into people as well. So there's a factor there you have to consider. But fantastic conversation. Anything else to add, John?
I don't have anything else to add other than I'm wondering, Anton, do you believe that Jesus existed in history?
No way.
Okay.
There's no proof at all that he existed. Even the Shroud of Turin was proven to be a fake. I'm a total atheist.
I'm glad that Anton's still here. I thought he hung up. I thought he hung up on us. Cool. So Anton, were you ever a believer?
Yeah, we started going to church when I was like maybe 13. Then when I moved out at 18, I started questioning why the Jews don't believe in Jesus. So I called a synagogue, and she invited me to come over to one of their services and ask questions if I had any questions. So I started coming over there, and I started asking questions, and then I converted to the Jewish side, and she got replaced as a rabbi because they didn't believe in female rabbis. So I got mad and started going to a different synagogue where I converted completely to Judaism. And the rabbi had made it flat out that Judaism was made up by the scribes, and that Moses didn't write the Torah. So I just left. So I said I was wasting my time and studied science and religion and realized the hard way that none of the Bible people, especially Jesus, existed. So I've been an atheist ever since then.
Nice. Well, that is a fascinating story. I want to make a recommendation to you, if I will, if if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you sound like somebody that would be interested in this stuff. So I listen to a podcast called The Ancients, and they talk a lot about ancient mythology and ancient politics and culture and how they're all intertwined. And the most recent episode is a fantastic account of how the god Inanna from Sumerian culture made it all the way into Christianity and Hellenistic folklore as well. And I think that if you go back and check that out, you will see parallels to what John just talked about, and to maybe what I mentioned about Zeus and Yahweh. And I think you'll find it incredibly interesting, and it'll answer some questions for you as well. So. If you have nothing else, that's all I got. I appreciate you calling, Anton. John?
Yeah, I was just okay. What do you got?
Is it on YouTube, The Ancients? Because I'm looking it up. I can't find it.
No, wherever you get your podcasts, you might find it. I find it's a helpful resource to just kind of, stay consistent on some of these mythologies and concepts, because if you don't practice it every day, it's easy to forget. Pardon me?
Final thing. I get my podcast on StreamYard. But anyway, final thing. Is it true that there's evidence that we're living in a simulation? Elon Musk said that we might be. I'm a fan of his.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no evidence that we're living in a simulation. What if I recall, that guy, he comes to that conclusion just because for whatever reason, he rates the possibility of us being in base reality to be incredibly low. So it's more likely that we're not. But I don't see any reason why, he doesn't give any kind of like Bayesian analysis for his particular conclusion there. But as far as whether or not we're in a simulation, this kind of touches on like hard solipsism, and I don't see the benefit in discussing hard solipsism when we're talking about this, because regardless of whether or not we're in a simulation, we're all faced with this reality that is constructed in a certain way, that we all interact with in a certain way, and we're bound by the laws that we have been able to discern about this reality. So whether or not we're a simulation, I don't think that really matters, because it's ultimately not going to change our investigation of our reality.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had, sir.
Nice. All right, Anton. Hey, thank you for being a caller. Thank you for being part of the team. I hope you'll keep checking us out. Go ahead and check us out on Patreon. Follow us on TikTok. And that was a good call.